We've all been there at some point. You've been scrolling through grants.gov, trying to find funding for your nonprofit, and it's like walking into a maze with no exit signs. Acronyms flying at you left and right. HUD, NOFO, USDA. You can barely keep track of who's offering the money, let alone how to get it. Federal grants seem complicated, but with a little guidance and the simple act of doing them, you'll be well on your way to navigating this maze like a pro. If you're feeling lost in federal grants, I'm going to give you the scoop on what you need to know, what they are, who's offering them, and how to get started without getting lost in the maze. When you first get into federal grants, it feels like someone tossed you headfirst into a maze with no direction. Where do you even start? How do you know what type of grant you need? How do you stay oriented in all of this? Well, I've got some good news and some bad news. The bad news, the maze is still a maze. It can be annoying to navigate sometimes, even for professionals. The good news? I'm here to give you the map to the maze. I'll show you exactly where to go to find government grants, help break down some of the most common federal grant types, and tell you the biggest players offering those grants. But before we dive into the details, don't forget to check out our other federal grants videos after watching this one, especially our new Intro to Federal Grants video and the Ultimate Guide to grants.gov. Those videos will help supplement this one in order to put you on the right path. Now, back to the maze. Tip number 1, top 5 federal grant entities offering grants. If you're going to get familiar with federal grants, it's crucial to know who's offering the cash. Here are 5 major funders in the federal grant space that you should keep on your radar. Number 1, Housing and Urban Development, or HUD. These folks are all about housing stability. So if your organization deals with homelessness, affordable housing, or community development, HUD's got some sweet opportunities for you. Number 2, Department of Energy, or DOE. DOE offers grants for everything from solar panels to futuristic save the planet tech. Definitely the place to go if you're into renewable energy projects. Number 3, US Department of Education, or ED. If you're focused on schools, students, or anything that spells better education for all, ED is where you'll want to look. Teacher training, student support services, you name it. Number 4, U.S. Department of Agriculture, or USDA. USDA grants can fund rural development, food security programs, and more. Whether you're helping feed families or working on rural community projects, they've got something for you. Number 5, Department of Justice, or DOJ. If you work in public safety, criminal justice reform, or victim services, the DOJ offers a range of grants to help organizations fight crime and support victims. You know, all the important stuff that keeps communities safe and fair. These are just a few of the big names, but knowing these 5 will give you a good start. Plus, you'll sound super knowledgeable at networking events. Tip 2, different types of federal grants. Let's talk about the different types of grants. Not all grants are created equal, so understanding the difference is going to save you a lot of time. Here's a breakdown of the most common types you'll come across. Block grants. These grants provide a lump sum to state or local governments who can then decide how to spend it within a certain category, like health or community services. It's like getting a gift card. Discretionary grants. As the name implies, these are competitive, so get ready to flex your writing muscles. The federal government has discretion over who gets the money, which means you'll have to prove why your project is the best. Mandatory grants. These are more like an automatic paycheck. If you meet the eligibility criteria, you're pretty much guaranteed funding. Think of like those college scholarship essays that say, just show us your GPA and we'll cut you a check. Formula grants. These are based on preset criteria like population, income levels, or some other formula the government cooks up. If you fit the criteria, you get funded. Simple as that. Cooperative agreements. These are a little different because they come with a built-in government partner. If you get one, it means Uncle Sam isn't just giving you the money, he's gonna want you to be involved in your project. It's kind of like a team effort, but with a lot of paperwork and red tape. Each grant type has its pros and cons, but knowing which one fits your project is half the battle. Tip 3, where to go. All right. Now you know who's giving out the money and what types of grants are available, but where do you actually find them? There are a handful of websites to choose from, but grants.gov is the star of the show. It has a really high ceiling of usability, but the complexity level is just as high. Grants.gov is not for the faint of heart. It's a bit clunky and overwhelming, like most things government related. But with a few tricks, you'll be navigating it like a pro in no time. Start by using the search filters to narrow down your options by category: housing, STEM, education, whatever your niche is. This will save you from scrolling through pages of irrelevant grants. But grants.gov isn't the only game in town. Depending on your focus area, you may want to visit individual federal agency sites like HUD or DOE because they often post additional funding opportunities or resources that may not appear on grants.gov. Focus on what you care about, whether it's housing, education, or renewable energy. That'll guide your next steps and keep you on track. You can check out this video for 3 funding sources for government grants. Congratulations! You now have a map for navigating the maze. We covered the basics of federal grants, the top 5 federal entities you should know about, the different types of federal grants, and how to start navigating the admittedly overwhelming world of grants.gov. If you're still feeling lost or overwhelmed, don't worry, you're not alone. We'll drop a link in the description below where you can learn more about hiring a professional grant writer just in case you'd rather leave this maze to the pros. And if you're sticking it out solo, check out our next video where we'll dive into what you absolutely need to know when reviewing funding announcements. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.